Welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jason JB Smoke, and sitting here in the middle of the group.
I'm Durant. No cool nickname. I know what it is.
Yeah, man. And today we got a guest.
We got a guest. One we've been chasing for a while
Man,
too.
for a little while here.
Yeah, we've been chasing Steven for
Like,
a little bit.
both figuratively and literally.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
As you see the cars behind us,
Mhm.
they back there for a reason. We'll get to those.
Yeah, we'll get to it in a bit.
Yeah, but we've got Stephen Cooke over here, Mr. TRD Toyota guy extraordinaire.
I try.
With the cool ass freaking '90s Supra back there.
Yeah.
It's all a compensation tool.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
No, but let's see. We got to do the introduction, right? So
Yeah.
I met Steven a couple years ago at Ocoy Cigar Lounge, kind of like how I met you, right?
Yeah.
We became super fast friends over cigars and dumb shit. It wasn't really cars because I'm not really a big car guy. I enjoy cars, but not a big car guy. He's a car guy. But we just kind of struck it up and had a great conversation and been rocking ever since, right? So tell us about yourself, man. Tell us how you got involved with cigars and
Yeah. So as you said, my name's Steven. I don't have any cool nicknames. Everybody just calls me the car guy. I'm kind of the black sheep of most of my friends. But yeah, so I got started smoking cigars probably 15, 16, 17 years ago.
Okay.
I actually worked at a local pool lounge that had a cigar lounge in it out of Cleveland, Tennessee, and got introduced to them by a guy named Hal, which a lot of people in the cigar world know him around here, and he moved away since then. But got introduced and started smoking those acids.
Ooh.
So
A lot of people start there.
Yeah.
well, I start well. Typically, if you end there, it's a different acid. So if you start with acid cigars, it's a lot healthier. But then I remember that I had my first real cigar, and it was a Zeno Platinum. And at that point in my life, there was no version of me that was going to pay $40 for a cigar. So Hal gave me, and I sat down and I smoked it, and it was like being born again.
Yeah.
A lot less sticky going on, but it was like that. No one was spanking me, but it felt really good. I was smoking a real cigar. I felt like one of the guys because I'd seen all them smoking it, and I had just finally gotten that desire to try a real one, and it was great. And then ever since then, I've not smoked a flavored one since. It kind of gives me a headache now, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. So I don't even like being in the room with them sometimes.
I call them wife cigars.
Yeah, you're gonna get us in trouble, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wife cigars?
Constant headache. They don't put out a whole lot. But I meant exactly how it sounds.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, what kind of
it's a
context
joke. It's a
are you
joke.
saying
It's
that
a
you
joke.
don't mean it?
I'm
exactly
hoping
what you
that
said.
the people that watch this understand that I like to joke a lot.
Yeah, so if you haven't
really
figured it out
good.
yet, he's super sarcastic.
Yeah.
A lot of things that come out of his mouth are satire. So
I'm really good at sounding and looking completely serious, but in reality, I'm laughing inside. And some problem is a lot of people start crying inside. When I start going after them, so I'll take it easy.
all right.
Well, you gotta take it easy. It's just us.
Oh, trust me.
No, he needs to take it easy. There are some things that are off limits, like that we joke about,
Yeah.
but
The pre-show conversation.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Pre-show
Absolutely.
conversation was crazy. So there's a slight introduction. We're going to get to know Steven much better while we're here.
Yeah.
And some other really cool things that he has to show off. So, what we smoking today, man?
So today we have the Caldwell Long Live the King, and this is the flagship, of the brand, and they actually have a 10th year anniversary of this cigar out now. So this cigar has been out for 10, ish years, and I think that's pretty cool for the brand. And then in this line, of course, they've got the Mad Mofo, which if you're into cigars, that's not the original name. Original name was Mad MF.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why they had to change the name, because I feel like the new name is just as bad of a connotation as the first name, but whatever. And now they have a queen along with the queen, both in I think it's a Habano and a Maduro. So we've done those on the podcast. You'll have to go back and check those out. But this is one of Steven's favorite cigars. So this is what we're going to smoke. And as far as
they just released the Habano one
Of this?
Yeah.
This
uh,
actually-
No, that's
yeah, but
right,
I've not
yes.
seen it yet, but I think they released it last week
The
or so.
mofo, not this
Yeah,
one,
the
right?
Mad Mofo. It's the Mad Long Live the King. Sorry, Long Live the King Habano.
Okay.
I think I don't know if Mad Mofo is in the name or
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember if mofo's in it
not. I haven't found it
either.
yet. I'm sure when I do, I'll try that.
I think that it was something they put out for PCA, which just went by. So
Yeah.
not really sure.
We'll talk about that too.
And then our spirits, we just got a bevy of spirits here.
Yeah, we're just gonna pick something today, right?
I think we're just gonna kind of just do whatever we want. We're not really here for the spirits or the cigar. We're here to sit down with Steven and have some good conversation.
Yeah, like I was trying to come up with cool names for this episode, and I couldn't really, so I guess we're just gonna go with like cars, cigars, and booze.
Sure. Yeah.
Simple enough, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and light my cigar. Here's what I tell you, man. Y'all don't judge me on this. Lighting out here in the sunlight is always difficult because you can't actually see the flame. So if I burn my hand, I don't want to hear your shit.
Yeah, and the wind is a little crazy right now.
We're gonna give you shit. Heads up. Duran, if it starts getting hot, that means the flame is hitting your skin.
Damn.
It's hard to see.
Well, even with the sunglasses, it's really hard.
Like I got
Dude,
barely
you
any
need a
light.
flamethrower. I turned it down after a bevy of mistakes that I had made.
And really? All right, there we go.
We could change the name to what? Cigars, cars, booze, and rookies for the two of you.
That too, yeah.
Well, so the flame doesn't go up nearly as far when you're outside.
No, it does
You
not.
think it does.
But I got a good light, so I'm happy. Like it it's okay. It's not terrible.
This is a really good cigar as an introduction to the brand if you haven't had Caldwell before. These are relatively inexpensive compared to lots of other cigars. I mean, the brand is pretty affordable. The Queen one is a little pricey. I don't know if it's just because it's new or if it's special or whatever.
This bad boy was pricey. What are you talking about?
But, well, I mean, what are these, about $12? More than that? Oh, man, okay. Well, maybe they've gone up. So I'm saying all that because they have a cheaper cigar. They have a budget line. They have the Eastern Standard, which is, their budget line. And, it's, I want to say it's something like $6 to $8 or something like that. But I feel like this is probably a good introduction into the brand. It doesn't blow you away, but it's not a quote-unquote cheapo.
No, but I mean, it's a super flavorful cigar
It is
already.
very
Like
flavorful.
the initial light is like awesome. So we'll take it.
Well, it's
But,
like
yeah.
it's a boutique brand. I actually think that Robert Caldwell just sold the brand.
Did he?
If I'm not mistaken, and I'm trying to remember what major label he sold it to, but I think he still maintains some level of control.
I was going to say, did he do like Drew Estate did, where it's like none of the management changed, it's just the ownership
Yeah,
changed
it
or whatever?
could have been something like that.
Okay.
I just remember distinctively when the change happened. So some background is, this cigar brand started very small, and some only niche stores had it. And then obviously it took off. I think a lot of it was their marketing. I mean, it's a cool logo, cool band on the cigar. It just looks cool. Mad Mofo, some clever marketing, right?
Absolutely.
They did a lot of soldier marketing for military, right? Kickbacks to the military, trying to help support the military. So all these things go into marketing, and they kind of took off, which is a great environment to be in to sell your business.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think they did that really well. I think the only downside to this brand is they've outpriced themselves in some ways.
Probably.
Because what their competition is now, especially if you buy a Robusto size of this, you're now competing with things like the Liga number 9.
Mhm.
And that's a really tough area, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
to
for sure.
be in.
I think.
Well, for drones, the 64s.
Yeah, well,
Like,
even
that's
that,
where you're
like you
competing.
look at Drew Estate, and you don't even have to go as far as Liga. You can just go UC10.
Yeah,
Yes.
Like,
exactly.
That $13 cigar is hard to beat, man. Like
It is.
So.
And these are good. And I used to smoke these. I'd buy them as a box,
Mhm.
right? And I love them. But the price point was great, right? And if I'm going to continue to buy like that, I like now to more enjoy them on occasion because then you get more out of them, right? So it's definitely not a daily smoke for me because of that. So now when I have one, like when I had one in a few weeks, it tastes better.
Yeah.
What we drinking?
I mean, it's drinker's choice, honestly, right? I think I'm actually going to try the Founders. I haven't had the Chattanooga Whiskey Founders in a while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. It was sitting on the counter, and we didn't know what you like to drink, right? So we didn't know if you were like a low proof, high proof guy. So yeah, we kind of
I
stayed.
mean, to be fair, I
Is
like
there
it
anything you
all.
haven't had before?
No, I like it all. I've had all that. So.
Okay.
I will probably do. I think I'm gonna do some of that Founders as well.
What about you, man? You want some of this Founders, or you want something else?
I'm gonna go Founders as well. I haven't cracked it in a while, so
Thank you, sir.
I'm getting a
I don't know if you
super
guys
nasty
can see
ton.
on the screen, but I got to give a shout out to my wife. These were our third anniversary, one of my third anniversary gifts from her.
Okay.
I want to say that anniversary means leather and crystal, I think is what it was. So crystal, so I got glasses and a decanter.
Okay.
I can't tell you what the leather's for, but you use your imagination on that one. But I got a lot more leather than I did crystal. But nonetheless, so they can see it's got our C on it. Last name's Cooke. I thought it was pretty cool to give her a shout out for letting me do this with the boys out here in the driveway in the middle of the neighborhood, drinking and smoking cigars. I like it.
They're gonna find out that you might be slightly riffraff for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right?
If they haven't figured that out yet, they're fucking stupid.
I was gonna say, how long have you been here?
Long enough for anybody with half a brain to figure out I'm a lunatic.
All right. So how does this
Ooh,
work?
that's good. That's really good.
Man, that's
This thing is kind of.
I'm not a huge fan of Chattanooga whiskey, but they're the Founders, man.
Well,
I really enjoy this.
I've had some of theirs that I just hated.
The
And then I've had
Founders?
some, no, some Chattanooga whiskey. I've had some that I just hated. And then some, I was like, there's no way the same company makes this. This isn't incredible.
Yeah, so this has a lot less of their malted stuff in it. Let's just put it that way, because they're a malted distillery. Most of their stuff is malted, actually, and so
I don't think there's any fluid in that. Oh, there is. Go for it.
I'm getting a nasty tunnel, man. Like, I mean, nasty. Which is not normal for this brand. But we are dealing with a light
outside.
bit of wind.
Yeah, we're outside. It's a little breezy out here.
That's what you get. Do you guys? I'm sure you have. You smoked cigars on the beach before?
Yes, it's
like you can buy a 3-hour cigar and you get 5 minutes.
Yes.
Like literally,
Yes.
I only smoke cheap cigars on the beach.
Yeah.
You have
same
to
way.
You have to get one of those awnings has like the wall.
Been there, done that, and the wind still whips in and it still does damage to your cigar. So like I literally have just make a root.
They'll last longer if you have like something to block the wind. So I usually find like a little gaggle of like 18 to 20 kids, and I sit in the middle of the kids. They block the wind,
It just goes right over them.
They are like a filtration. Yeah, so they filter the air.
You only get the smell of children.
No. The ozone doesn't get the smell of cigars. They do, but they like it.
Yeah, they definitely.
Well, they're downwind, so they don't get nothing.
Well, don't rain on the parade. But it does help keep your cigar lit longer.
I would say so.
Goodness.
We'll see. I'm gonna try that next time at the beach. 20 kids, got it.
They're easy to find.
Just line them up.
Easy to find.
I didn't realize that a group of kids was called a gaggle.
What are you heard?
I don't know. When you said gaggle, I'm like, where's he going with this?
It just
gaggle?
sounded like I said gag and leather just a minute ago.
You still a little bit back.
That's where you were. I
wonder where you were going with the gaggle. I'm like, where's he going with?
What else you call a group of kids?
I don't know.
Children.
I have no idea.
Children.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. So, all right, we got bourbon, we got cigars. The other thing we got to talk about is cars.
Mm-hmm.
So really, the reason we've been trying to catch Steven, right, is he's got this beast that's sitting back here behind him.
Yeah.
You can't see it because the Supra's in the way. the Corolla.
Fucking cheers on
The
that.
Corolla,
That was strong.
right?
That was fucking strong.
That
was strong. So the Supra is the beast. So tell us about the Supra, man.
Yeah. So I think a lot of us, that are into cars, and even some that are, mildly into cars. We all have, I think, in our minds, like what that holy grail car is, right?
Or a specific movie told us what the holy grail car was.
Yeah, a specific orange car that drove around and kind of set that tone for a lot of people. It was either the General Lee or the Supra, right? So But no, so I was born in '87. So about the time I was old enough to kind of figure out what a car was, like what it meant, more than just something with four wheels that you rolled around. Um, I started getting really into cars, and I got a Hot Wheels car,
Okay.
a Supra. I loved it. It was my favorite car.
Mhm.
I had the Lamborghinis back in the day, the Countach and all that stuff. But the Supra was my favorite. And then Fast and Furious came out a few years later, and it was just something that I'd always wanted. Um, and I'd made a couple attempts early in life to buy one, but at a young age, timing's never right, money's never right, and as I kept putting it off over the years, the values just started going higher and higher. And I remember when I in like 2005 or six, I saw car guys will know what I'm talking about, but a twin turbo 6-speed factory car, which is what you want, right? Like 25 grand, low miles, it was no big deal. But fast forward, I bought this car in April of 23, I believe it was. So I've had it about 2 years now, and it was over 90, right? So it's a significant change in valuation, and it's changed even more since I bought it, which thankfully.
Just the rarity of it, right?
Right.
Really?
Yeah. So I had that opportunity, right? Life had set itself up. I worked hard, and luckily, I have a good wife that's very understanding, obviously. But all these things are kind of necessary at this point in your life to buy something like that because I sold it to her as an investment. You know, I, it's an investment, so that's why I bought it. She was totally supportive of that. So an investment's only an investment if you plan to sell it. So we call that a dumpster fire. What that is, because that's it's never going to go anywhere.
It's sellable.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I'm killing.
So it's an investment to somebody.
He can get every dollar out of it right now. Like,
if it's not an investment to you, it's an investment to whoever survives you.
Right. Exactly.
Nice way to
frame that. As long as that doesn't kill me, that's
true.
The thing. Then it's a pile of junk.
This is very true. Yes.
So why might it kill you?
So it's when I bought the car, it had some work done to it, and I bought it, and I, like most men, I wanted more, and so I bought it out of Miami, flew down, bought it. From there, I had it shipped to a shop called Induction Performance. It's actually whose banner's on the front windshield. Became really close to those guys. They're some of the greatest guys I've ever met in the car world because you guys are familiar with the cigar world. And there's always this clique of people that just kind of come off better than everybody else. Like I'm into wine, but they do, and that's prevalent in the car world. But they were not like that at all. And we hit it off really well. So we went there after I bought it, had some more work done to it, picked up some more power out of it, and then brought it back here. And over the past 6 months, I've had the car torn apart in this garage, doing several other upgrades to the tune of several dollars, and now we're about 1,300 horsepower. So we'll actually have it on the dyno here in the next couple of weeks. We're actually putting a bigger turbo on it.
Jesus.
By the way.
It's at 1,300 now. He's going bigger.
Well, no, we're not trying to make more power. We're trying to make more power early on in the power.
Okay, gotcha.
So I don't really
in the spectrum.
Yeah, the peak point of the power it makes now, it's a lot. It's a lot for anybody to handle. Mm-hmm. And the car's analog, right? So these newer cars, it's very different. You can have all this power and you can actually use it.
Yeah.
And anybody can. You just kind of take a couple days and you'll have it figured out. But that car obviously is a different dynamic. There's no assistance.
Right.
There's nothing that's going to stop you from doing something crazy, whether you run into a back of a car or go 200 miles an hour.
That's true.
It's just going to go.
Yeah.
So that's why I say that. But that's my pride and joy. I've had tons of fun cars before that. M3, Evos, Subarus. I don't know if I'd call those fun cars or piles of junk, but I had those too. If you could hold them together, they were fun. 350Zs, all that. So
you're a car guy through and through. Like
100%.
If it goes fast, you want it.
That's right. Or I mean, it is, and that's the thing. Fast is relative, first of all, but it also depends on the car, right? So behind that car is a GR Corolla, and it's a 300 horsepower factory car. It's nothing, but it's so much fun to drive.
Yes.
And it is a blast. So it's all relative to the car. If you put 1,300 horsepower in that, it'd probably split in half.
Yeah, but for sure. Like
but it wouldn't be fun, right?
It's a different function.
Exactly.
Right? It serves
the
a
Supra,
different purpose.
It's a good highway car. It's a good drag strip car, which is what it's.
It's a show car.
Yeah, it's all of those things. But a
For sure.
Corolla is something you're going to drive it every day.
That's
you want
it.
to have the
Exactly.
experience when you get in it.
Right.
You know,
You want
that
a
one.
taste. You want a taste of the Supra in an everyday driver.
Problem is when you get in the Supra, you're tasting your nuts the whole time, and that's a shitty taste.
So are you? Is that because you're like literally petrified the whole time you're driving?
Dude, no, I'll tell you. Let me tell you. It's not that. So getting on the car, that's fine. Like if you do it a few times and you've been around that stuff for a long, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's the other lunatics that drive you nuts. Last week, my wife almost got ran off the road.
Oh, right.
So
From a gawker.
Yeah, I get it. I was that guy. If I saw one, I would just lose my mind. I was like, I love it, but I didn't necessarily believe how bad it was till I bought one. And so we were passing by a gas station here in town, and we were going to my oldest daughter's school, and she was following me because she had the baby with her in case she had to leave her. So she was following me, and a guy come flying up on this 2-lane road that was going down to one and ran her into the other lane just to get behind me to film the whole way down a back road here.
Yeah.
So you get stuff like that is probably what's more dangerous about the car.
That makes
really
sense. That absolutely makes sense.
Because the rest of it, you control that. You
Right.
control that narrative. You hitting the throttle or you're hitting the whatever you're doing, you're controlling. You're completely out of control. We've had people come up at red lights and big intersections, like on foot, running up, getting pictures, asking for revenue. It's just kind of wild.
Yeah.
But it's again though. But to say it's probably one reason to buy it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
you want the attention and notoriety that comes with owning one.
Right. It's like why do you buy a fast car? Because it comes with that recognition that you own. You bought something rare. Why do people go to the gym and work out? They want to get big so people look at them, right?
Right.
So it's stuff like that,
I get it. Well, so I say I own the boring car, so I'll let Jason talk about his while he picks the gnat out of his drink.
I had a little leading that in.
So now it's a protein.
It's protein, man.
Yeah, right.
You ain't run it up and just go ahead and do it.
So behind me, we've got a 25 Elantra N, which for those that don't know is not an Elantra. It's not just a trim of an Elantra. It is a completely separate model. So yeah, it looks like an Elantra in a lot of ways, but it doesn't in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways that are noticeable, especially for those that if they know, they see it immediately. And then also you just don't see a whole lot of them around, which is one of the big reasons why I bought it. So for me, when I'm like you, like when I don't need anything like the Supra, but I do want.
He's
something,
well endowed. What he's trying to say.
No, I want something that is fun to drive.
We know.
No, I want something that's fun to drive when I drive around because I do enjoy driving. But when you put me in something that's just not very exciting, I just feel like I'm just driving from A to B, and it's just drudgery. I don't know.
I feel it.
So, so I got this, and actually before this, I had a Veloster R spec, and before that, I had a Mustang GT. Before that, I had a Genesis Coupe.
Okay.
Back when they made the coupes.
Yes.
They don't make those anymore, but that was all fun vehicles, all for different reasons.
Yes, I agree.
And the Mustang was probably a bit too much for me. I didn't need that much car. Both not so much in the power, but the size. It was a heavy car. It was a really heavy car. And so, I found after I bought that one that I really enjoyed the hot hatch category. Okay. Now, this technically is not a hot hatch.
No, it's a sedan. It's definitely a sedan.
Yeah,
it's a cool sedan, but it's a sedan.
Yeah, it's technically not a hot hatch, but I would still put it in that category in every other way other than, the back. It doesn't have hatchback.
Main thing about being a hatch.
Right, I get it. But
no, you're right.
But
I know
you think
exactly
about everything else about a hot hatch, it has that.
It's that nimble, quick, fun.
Light.
But I think you're alluding to the point too, right? So it is, to me, it's insane for anybody. And there's no one's going to change my mind here. To spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a vehicle you don't love.
Right.
So would you do that with a house?
No.
Would you have a kid you don't love? Let's go there. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Say it.
No.
Because if you say you have a kid you don't love, now who's the bad guy?
No, you absolutely don't.
Yeah, that's terrible. That would be terrible.
Yeah,
but
see? But no, it's just like that. It's a major investment.
Right.
Why not enjoy that experience?
Yeah, totally agree.
Every time you get in it.
Yep.
Totally agree.
Yeah, so before this, right, I said I had the Veloster. My wife had a Kona. And Pandemic hit. Neither one of us were driving, and I'm like, why do we have 2 car notes? This doesn't make any sense. We're driving 10,000 miles together a year. This is stupid. You need a bigger vehicle, so let's trade in both vehicles and just get the one larger vehicle. And that'll be your car, and I just won't have a car for now. It's fine. It is what it is. And it worked out great for about 2 years until they told us we had to go back to the office. And I was going to wait, but just everything going on with the economy and tariffs and all that, I was just like, you know what?
Better pull the trigger now.
I'm not picking from the bottom of the barrel because what I want doesn't live at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I always want the obscure thing that nobody has. They got to go and find the thing. I mean, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger, and I'm happy with it. I love it. I've broken it in. I've driven it in the in mode for the first time today.
You drove it down in it?
I drove it down here in the in mode, and that is wild.
Yeah.
And I cannot do that often.
Yeah.
Because
it makes you want to do bad things.
It wanted to go.
It
wanted to go, man.
It does.
Yeah. Like everything that you want turned on was turned on, and everything you want turned off was turned off. Okay? And like you said, it has all these features now because everything's electronic. And so it just makes it so much easier to drive it.
Yeah.
And to enjoy it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, not to mention the color is really cool too.
Yeah,
if
it
I'm not
really
mistaken,
is.
that's a pretty
Like,
unique color,
definitely
right?
stands out.
Yeah, so that's the special, the special color.
The end color. You can
That's
only
the
get
end
it
color.
in
That's right. You can only get it with this car, and you pay extra for it. Whatever. Didn't care about that part. But
We have,
I wanted
we
that
have
color.
joke limits, right?
But what?
Joke limits.
Yes, there are joke limits.
Okay. I really thought that we were gonna have a funny moment.
Go for it.
Is that really the end color?
You motherfucker. Like, wait a minute.
What?
Wait.
I thought.
Wait.
I didn't know he was gonna
Wait.
No, your mind's in the wrong place.
You motherfucker. Is it?
Obviously, I meant white.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're laughing. This is.
Fucking cheers.
I don't know what the problem is.
Well, is it my turn to talk about my boring car?
I don't know why you call your car.
Because
so
in
boring.
comparison to y'all,
His
it's
car is
boring.
badass. He just drives it
boring.
like a granny.
His car. Well, that's what it is, right
That's
there.
it, right?
I just what?
drive it like a granny.
I do not. I do not. No.
Really?
That is not true.
I got a laptop. I promise you, we can plug it in right there. We'll
My
find out
wife
how
hates me in that car.
Mhm.
So why is she in the car?
No, what I'm saying is she hates when I drive the car because
Why?
she knows what's going to happen. So I have a 22 Genesis G70 3.3T. So I'm the luxury guy in the group. Like I really prefer luxury,
And you
but I
got some
want
kind
a
of
sporty aspect.
and you've got some special package on that too,
Yeah, it's
right?
a launch edition.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's fun, right? But it's a luxury car with sporty aspects, right?
I like it.
So
I mean, I think it looks good.
it's
Classy.
I drove it down in Sport Plus because Jason and you challenged me the other day. It was like just driving it in the wrong mode.
He's saying all that like an Impreza is a luxury car with some sporty aspects.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like
That's you totally no man. You're
Kinda
underplaying
glossing
the whole
over
thing.
it.
what is?
You're
How am I
glossing-
glossing over it?
It's got decent power.
It does.
You got, like,
It's
Got a lot-
380.
Yes,
I was gonna say, isn't it like 400 horsepower in this thing?
It'll go. I'm not. But again, the reason I bought it was the luxury aspect.
I understand that.
So my cars previous to that, I've always been luxury first, sporty second. So I owned the last vehicle before this was a Cadillac ATS. Before that was a Cadillac CTS. Like I'm a luxury guy with a sporty aspect. Both of them were, the ATS was the 2.0 turbo. The Cadillac CTS was the, I want to say 3.6 liter V6. So I was not brave enough to go to a V because I have a heavy foot. I know who I am, which is why I need to behave because at one point in my life, before I was an insurance agent, I had lots of speeding tickets.
In all fairness, though, and this may not be something you realize until you take that leap to that next level of it, right? Like the V
Mhm.
of CTS. But that car out there, that Supra, I drive it slow everywhere. it sounds crazy, but it's kind of a weird thing. I don't have a desire to drive it fast. I have a desire to just soak it in. If I am going to drive it fast, it's kind of brief, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you lay into it on the interstate. I mean, it's a brief moment, and then the rest of the time you just kind of want to chill because your heart rate goes up, your adrenaline's flying because it's an experience, you know. But I like just cruising in it. I know that sounds crazy, but the Corolla, I'm gonna beat the crap out. I want to drive that thing fast all the time.
Well, and that's how I feel. Like
But
if I
that
had
might be your
1300,
problem. You would never.
I would not.
You would because you can't.
Because that's exactly
There's
it.
just
So
not a
my
lot of
car is
world
like
where
there's a few times where I'm like, here's an opportunity, let's go. Right? Like I told you, White Oak Mountain.
Right.
If it's clear on White Oak Mountain, I'm pinning it to the floor and we're going. When I bought it, I went to Atlanta to get it, and my wife was sitting in the front seat, and the dude was like, "You know what the car is? I know why you wanted to drive this one specifically." It's like there's a bunch of the 2.0s out here, but you said this one. So when are you gonna do it? And we put it in sport. I mean, I hit it, and my wife lost her damn mind. Like, so she won't even drive the car most of the time. Like, unless we go somewhere, I get a little too intoxicated and like puppy dogging it all the way home. But
Yeah.
I don't mind that so much.
Do you want your wife to drive your car?
Not really.
That's why I bought a manual.
Not really. So I enjoy driving a manual. I'm on the road way too much because of what I do for a living to want to drive a manual daily.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
I guess you just have to really love driving a manual, no matter
yeah,
what.
but so you
like
drive
the
to
engagement.
work and stay at work, right? Like,
Yeah, but I mean, I'm with you. I like the engagement with the thing that I'm driving.
that's
You're
cool.
driving around a lot, right?
But
And
I
I mean-
move around a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah, I
right?
hear
So
you.
like
No, I get
outside
it.
of the
Like,
office,
people ask
I'm
about- what
visiting
about-
different places. I'm going to see houses, and so I'm always moving, and it's just not the most fun thing, especially a long day, right? Coming home from Chattanooga, get stuck in traffic, and now no.
But the
No.
manual is a dying breed too.
It
know?
is.
I mean, it's
It
going away.
absolutely is. It's
You know,
very hard to find.
It is.
They're very hard to find. But I mean, people. So like, I drive home from downtown Chattanooga, and I mean, it don't matter what time you leave, you're hitting traffic,
Yes.
and it's stop and go. So it's really two things. One, I still enjoy the engagement with the vehicle, but also two, when you're driving, you drive different when you're in a standard than when you're
Absolutely.
in automatic.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't stay on people's ass.
No, you can't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't want to have to stop.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
prefer not to stop.
Right.
So you'd rather coast for a little while.
Yeah, you just gotta let it
whatever.
coast into.
Yeah.
So I totally get all
So
of
it's
that.
a different mindset when you're driving a manual versus the standard. So what I haven't done yet is gotten into the wife's car and go to try to hit the clutch.
Oh, done that.
I haven't done that yet,
Ah.
but it's coming, and
When
she
I-
will laugh her ass off
Yeah.
every time I do it.
When I had the Tacoma, I was backing out here one day, and I went to I had to put it in drive. It was in reverse. And I went to put it in drive, and I just like that.
Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah.
That's a break. Yeah. Oops. So I've done that. Yeah, but
So it's been so long since I've driven. Like my first car was manual, but it's been so long since I drove one. Man, like I know for me, like I wouldn't enjoy it as a daily driver. I could enjoy it as a one-off, right? Like get out and do it every once in a while, but like actually, have to do that every day. Like especially when I'm out and about, going to different places and jumping in and out of the car, and that just would not be fun for me, right?
I get that.
And then also, I still, I need some functionality for like having the kids in the car and all that good stuff. So that's why we went with that instead of a two-door coupe or something. Because there were other cars on the list, but that one just meant everything.
Well, it's a nice car. At the end of the day,
It
it's
is
a nice car.
It's not.
It does. And I mean,
Well,
I
and
think
they make this in an automatic.
The end, yes.
Yeah,
But-
you can get this exact car in an automatic.
I think it's important to understand too that even though we can kind of rag each other a little bit on the cars or wish our car was something different, we're very fortunate
To be able to buy the
to
cars. as well, yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Because I when I was much younger and fresh out of the old military, I lived in a car.
Mhm.
I had nothing.
Mhm.
So and it's not for lack of people trying to help me. It's from lack of being smart enough to understand how to use it. Right.
I get it.
So I think for me especially, it brings like a whole new level of appreciation for those things, right? Which goes back to saying when I was talking about wanting to buy a Supra when I was younger, I would have never appreciated it like I do now.
Yeah, it wasn't the right time.
And like
Timing is everything.
like y'all know, if y'all had these cars when you were 20, You would have treated them differently.
Yeah,
You would have been different, and the odds are it would have been worthless in a couple of years because you'd have been dragging it out, right?
Yeah.
It's just you're just different.
I
don't disagree.
had a what was it, an MX6 when I was in my early 20s, and I ragged the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Ragged it out.
Early 20s, I did not have anything that nice, for sure.
I mean, it was used.
You're talking about like girlfriends or cars?
I mean, it was definitely.
You ragged it out. You didn't have anything that nice. Wonder.
Probably a little of both. Well, in my early 20s, I still had the same shit, so I can't say that. Like, I can't say that because I still had the same shit. So, yeah, like 22, 23. Me and my wife been rocking for almost 22 years at this point, I guess. So
That's impressive.
You know, like,
Yeah, I'm scared to drink freaking Powerade around my wife because I'm worried it's Windex.
that's not true. She's definitely not that person. Unless we're missing
Well,
something,
edit that part out.
you know.
The Windex part, right?
So I think we're about to get some rain.
We might have to go ahead and close this one up.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
not sure how long we've been going, but
We're going a little bit.
we've been going a little ways here.
So, well, y'all know what it is. We're going to have to do another episode somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have to rearrange.
Make it work? Yeah. All right. Well, y'all know what it is, man. Another episode of High Proof Ashes. I'm Durant, no cool nickname. To my right is...
Stephen Cooke, no cool nickname, just a cool dude.
There you go. And then on my left, my partner.
Jason JB Smoke. We'll see you guys on the next one.
I'll probably never get invited back.
Not true.
See y'all.